Okay, and we are live. How's it going, Mets and overall baseball fans? It's your boy Wardy. We're back at it with the latest breaking news topic. As yes, Ronny Mauricio, the Mets' current number 3 prospect in the farm, can play short, can play second, can play third, can play some in left field, is now finally arriving in Queens. The long-awaited, highly anticipated debut for Ronny Mauricio will come as soon as this weekend. He will officially be called up around this Friday, when we will have the roster expansion here for the remainder of the year. So Ronny Mauricio is finally getting the call up. We have been preaching about this. We have been hoping for this for so long, all throughout the year. Funny enough, the one night I don't have my normal blue Mets hat on me that is signed by Ronny Mauricio on the lid when I had the pleasure of meeting him in spring training this year. When I don't have that on, that is when the Mets decide to call him up. So it is what it is, but I'm going to get into everything you guys need to know about Ronny Mauricio and his game, what his potential impact, what his potential immediate impact can be in Queens, and also getting into, quick reactions on the Mets walking off against the Texas Rangers today, thanks to DJ Stewart with 4 RBIs, 2 home runs. The man has 8 home runs in his past 13 games. He is on his Barry Bonds shit right now, pardon my French. It has been so much fun to watch the DJ Stewart saga, this story. This is very much giving me Matt Carpenter 2022 Yankees vibes, very similar in how these guys are dominating a very short sample size. But let's get into the Ronny Mauricio stuff, then we'll talk a bit more on the game. Thank you guys for the well wishes. Thank you guys for the happy birthday wishes. Appreciate the donation goes away. Shout out to James. Shout out to my man, that being Ballcap Sports Jim, one of the best baseball YouTubers out there. Please make sure to subscribe to Jim if you guys haven't already. Yes, cannot say enough. Yeah, finally Ronny is called up. Thank you guys all for the birthday wishes as well. Your boy is at the old age of 23 today. Very grateful for another year and beyond excited to get into the year of 23, Tyler, and what that is going to unveil for every single one of you guys watching this live or on replay. A lot of great things are coming to the community and the content space here in WardyNYM starting this off season. I'm really excited to get into, so just be on the lookout. Still just the beginning here on YouTube, as we've already been here for 3 years, but we got to talk. Appreciate, again, thank you to everyone that was so nice with the happy birthday wishes today. Really means a lot. But I want to focus on Ronny Mauricio here, because can we just take a moment? I'm not 4'9". I am 5'5", 5'5", 5'6", sometimes 5'7", depends on what shoes you got me in, but that's usually where I sit. Yes, I'm a short schmuck, I know. I got to talk about Ronny Mauricio. That is a topic of discussion tonight. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe if you're just chiming into the breaking news that is Ronny Mauricio, Mets coveted, highly touted prospect, makes his long-awaited Mets debut. This is a Ronny Mauricio that has basically played nonstop baseball since mid to late fall of last year. He was playing in the Dominican Winter League, dominating the Dominican Winter League, dominated in spring training this year, hitting nukes, hitting them right, hitting them left, hitting them center, hitting them everywhere. Ronny was off to a tremendous start this year. Starts here in AAA, dominates. This is a Ronny Mauricio that has basically hit close to around 300 all season long in AAA. Yes, he's had his struggles with his walk rate, which is something that's been accustomed with him. Yes, he's one of those guys that is also, going to strike out at a decent clip. However, Ronny, the switch hitting ability, the raw tools with not only his offensive, but his defensive game, he brings all these elements now and gets to showcase them in Queens, as currently, Ronny Mauricio has been one of the best hitters in all minor league baseball this year. He has been hitting them early. He has been hitting them often. The guy just had another 2 to 3 hit night yesterday. It was inevitable that Ronny Mauricio would be called up this season. It was just a matter of when versus if. Dave, love you, brother. Thank you so much for the kind words. Luke Riley, Sprite, all you guys that are chiming in, thank you guys so much for being here. Insanity, thank you so much for a $5 holla. Happy birthday, Wardy. Thank you so much. Means a lot. Cheers to many more years. Love you, bro, and God bless. Same to you, my friend. Thank you. I'm excited for this call. As am I. Look, the Mets had a fun, entertaining win tonight. You know what's even better? It's not just a win in a season that means nothing. It's a Ronny Mauricio call, so you get to see what the kid can provide. Look, if Ronny does nothing, he does nothing. It's just you want to see what you can get from these kids in the final stretch of games this season. The season's going to be over in just over a month from now. It's about damn time that Ronny Mauricio was getting this inevitable call up. So for those that aren't aware of Ronny Mauricio on his game, let's talk a little bit about him. He's a shortstop. He's listed 6'3", 166 pounds. I can tell you from meeting this man in person in spring training, training, he looks at least 6'5", and he looks at least a $180. I mean, he is when he was initially signed by the Mets as an international prospect a couple years ago, the guy was tall, lengthy, but was very much, he was very skinny, right? So he had a lack of pop in his swing. He had a lack of power in that production. Over the past calendar year alone, Ronny Mauricio has put up so much weight, favorable weight. We're not talking about just strictly fat. The guy really bulked up. He muscled up. Ronnie's in the best shape of his life. He's only at the age of 22 right now, and he is going to take the MLB by storm, or at least I hope. Ronny Mauricio is someone that has been slapping the ball everywhere around the ballpark this year in AAA Syracuse. He has been a human highlight reel there, and now he gets to show his ability not only on the defensive end with his young versatility. Yes, he's had a good amount of errors this year, but he's also been toyed in new positions that he's not accustomed to, and he's a guy that we know is likely not going to play at shortstop in the bigs when you have a guy, and I don't know, Francisco Lindor in his way. So justified reasons as to why he'll be playing at second, third, left field, doing his best Jeff McHitz impression in that regard, right? But Ronny Mauricio this season in AAA in just under 500 at-bats has 76 runs scored, 143 hits, 23 nukes, 71 RBIs, 24 stolen bases for a 292 average, a 346 on-base percentage, and an 852 OPS. Now, if you ask me, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to realize that those are good numbers, right? It's a nice production that you're getting from Ronny Mauricio. Ronny has been in the Mets farm going all the way back to 2018 when he was playing in Single A there, and then really started bursting on the store. I mean, look, just the numbers. You could tell the growth in Ronnie's game because he didn't have an overwhelming 2022 season in Double-A whatsoever when he was playing with the Rumble Ponies. He had some nice flashes, but nothing was overly there with Ronny. But as soon as the Dominican Winter League hit last winter to then spring training, the man has been a human highlight reel truly on another level. As we get into Ronnie's numbers from 2022, just to compare and contrast, we're talking 123 games with the Rumble Ponies, right? And in that season, he had 26 home runs, 89 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, a 259 average, a 296 OBP for a 768 OPS. Now we advance a year later in AAA. Ronny in 116 games, 23 home runs, 71 RBIs again. We're looking at 35 walks, which is already 11 more than what he had in more games last year. Again, not known for the walk rate, but that's something he's been getting better at each year. We have seen 24 stolen bases, a 292 average, a 346 on base percentage, and an 852 OPS. You have to be excited if you're a Mets fan about Ronny Mauricio, because this is what we said post-trade deadline. The only thing that matters at this point is, one, you hope to see the Mets play competitive games. You hope to see them have competitive baseball, but you want to see the kids caught up. We saw Marky V hit a bomb yesterday and the Mets lost, right? We seen Brett Beatty have his spurts of brilliance when he was up with the Mets this year. Now he's been getting, his bearings straight and doing much better in AAA. Just trying to get the anxiety down, get the mental out of the way, and just go back to being a great hitter, hit first, third baseman that he is. Francisco Alvarez doing everything he's done this year. He's been such a revelation. Even with his struggles as of late, doesn't matter. He's had a tremendous rookie year. And then you get into now the latest one, the group, Ronny Mauricio, finally getting the call. Look, guys, this was just 2 years ago. 2 years ago, everybody. 2 years ago. You see this? This is the Brooklyn Cyclones. 2 years ago, went to a Brooklyn Cyclones game. $10 Wednesday, buy one, get one free hot dogs. Who is on this and promo on this? Exactly why I kept this the entire time. It is Ronny Mauricio. It is Francisco Alvarez, and it is Brett Beatty. They are all finally hitting the MLB level. Ronny is a guy that initially, when the Mets signed him as an international prospect, was believed to be a guy that could hit the bigs at a fairly quick level. His expected time of arrival was already this year to begin with. So it's late to say the least, but it's better late than never in the Ronny Mauricio inevitable call up here. And I'm just so excited. The raw tools and the raw abilities that Ronny Mauricio has, if you've watched his game at all, whether you just casually watched some minor league baseball, whether you did watch throughout the Dominican Winter League last year, whether you've watched spring training, whatever it may be, Ronnie's elements of his game, while are raw, they are uber talented, and there's an endless amount of potential there. Ronny Mauricio, to a lesser degree, is like Ellie De La Cruz, a O'Neal Cruz, two guys, Dominican shortstops. One of them is a switch hitter, the other, I think, just bats left. ridiculous amount of tools. They can throw super hard, super fast in the infield. They have so much speed on the bags. They have really strong gloves when they know the position, at least. Ronny at short is comfortably, when he's there, he looks good, but he's been toying at second base, left field, and third base as well. They have all these elements to the game. They're entertaining players, and Ronny now enters as the latest man to really indulge and see what he can provide to not only the Mets, but just showcase at the MLB level now. The speed, the bat to ball skills, the switch hitting ability, as he has continued to get better at hitting from the right side of the plate. Very much known for hitting at the left side of the plate. If you guys remember his highlights in spring training, when I had the pleasure of meeting him, it was a game against the Tampa Bay Rays. He hit a nuke at least 430 feet over my head in right field, past where all of us fans were standing on the concourse there. The guy's just an absolute stud. But you see all these tools, you see all these abilities, and we've seen him hit for 300 plus all year long pretty much. In August especially, he has been tearing the cover off the ball, so this doesn't come as a shock for me, more so than a relief is what it really is. It's truly a relief to see Ronny finally up with his baseball club. Just see what happens. There's nothing wrong with just seeing what you have in kids. You know, we even see the Yankees, now that they are very much in the same spot as the Mets, pretty much not making playoffs this year at this rate. They called up their number 2 prospect and the Martian himself, and Jason Dominguez, a 20-year-old center fielder, the guy who looks yoked. If you don't look at his face, you'd think he's the schmuck from the Benchwarmers movie, where he goes up to bat and he's clearly like in his 30s, but he has a thing with like a $5 tip to the ump saying I am 12. That's what Dominguez looks like if you look at everything but his face, because he, in my opinion, has like a baby face. You can tell he's young, but the kid's absolutely yoked. He's getting he's finally making his MLB debut. Austin Wells, catching prospect, if I'm not mistaken, for the Yanks as well, getting the call up. So we're seeing more of this youth movement in New York baseball, and that's exciting. You know, this is the future of not only the Mets, this is only the future of the Yanks, but this is the future of baseball. So you always got to be excited about those things, especially when these guys have the amount of talent that they've showcased at every professional level up until this point. Sprite, thank you so much for the $10 donation. She says, finally getting Ronny up, and it's announced on your birthday, and a fun Mets win with Stewart dominating tonight for you. It was very much a fun win. It's very much a fun night in the Wardy household. Again, appreciate all the happy birthday wishes. Thank you guys so much for that. I'm at the old age of 23 now. I know, so I'm shocked as you are. I've been doing this for 3 years, guys, and you're seeing me grow and blossom before your very eyes into the schmuck that I am today. And I'm very humble and grateful for all your support. So thank you guys so much for that. I did see another donation. No, I didn't. Okay, I talked about that already. Again, appreciate all the donations, guys. But more than anything, I just want to know, how are you feeling? How are you feeling, Mets fans? How are you feel? Whoever you're a fan of, how do you feel about the Ronny Mauricio call-up? How excited are you to see Ronny here in Queens? Again, we're looking at around Friday at absolute early, so Ronny will be up with the expanded roster. So I really want to know how you're feeling about this move. Are you in favor of the Ronny Mauricio call-up? What do you like about him? What do you not like about him? And Ronny, when we talk about him as an overall hitter, he has been right around just above average if we're looking at OPS plus or WRC plus, weighted runs created plus. Basically just means, are you average, above average, below average as a hitter in minor leagues? This year, Ronny has been slightly above average, but don't get it twisted. When Ronny gets hot too, he's an on-base god, not because of the walks, but just putting the ball in play. You know, Ronny has a lot of qualities to his game that remind me a decent amount of Ahmad Rosario, where Rosario in the minor leagues was hitting for a high average. Again, wasn't walking a lot, but he was just constantly putting the ball in play. He too was a shortstop that had his struggles. Mauricio, in my opinion, is a far more talented player than a Rosario is on the defensive end, the versatility, the speed. Even though that Rosie has some speed in his own right, and good for him, wishing him well in LA right now, since that Noah Syndergaard trade, and Noah has since been dropped by Cleveland. So there's certainly that, crazy to say, to think, from a couple years ago to where we are now on those players' fronts. But point is, Ronny Mauricio, I see those similarities quite a bit, and especially if he can just limit his strikeout rate, I think there's a lot of potential, especially with the power element that Ronny brings to lineup. It isn't just this great versatility that he has as a potential plus defender if things go well and right in his career, but he's bat first, he's bat to ball first, and he went from really not being able to carry the ball much out of the park to this guy's hitting nukes without a problem whatsoever. Again, he's listed 6'3", 166. I bet by the time we get to talking about spring training for 2024, he's at least a $180, at least a $185. Like, he looked absolutely fit as ever. But again, a guy that's really filled up and filled into his body in a comfortable way that's going to make him the best player he can possibly be. Like that home run he just hit in the highlights right there, that is the game I was attending. I was right on that concourse over there, and people behind me were running after the ball because it went over the fence. But Ronnie, it was such an effortless nuke when he did that. I'm just showing the spring highlights because they're fun. Just look at that beautiful swing. Such a beautiful swing. So I understand that there are people that would have liked to see Ronnie up sooner. Trust me, you're not the only one. I feel the exact same way. But what I feel most passionate about is knowing that the Mets are just finally able to bring up a kid that can be productive for them, hopefully, for the remainder of the year. And now you get a taste. You get a taste to see what you potentially have in Ronnie. Then you take that in consideration when you evaluate him in next year's spring training, and hopefully him cracking the roster, whether that be at second base, third base, left field. However they go about things, I just hope that Ronny Mauricio has a future with this club. And a part of me feels like that is going to be the case. And, you know, if he does well too, it will also be a nice little showcase for teams that have trade interest in Ronnie. We all know that there will be teams that are interested in Ronnie. You know, Ronny Mauricio's trade value a year ago, I would say, was at its lowest. Now it's hard to say that isn't its highest, even with him being 22. That's still such a young age to be having the production, the plus power, the plus tools that he has that he can bring to every day-by-day, night-by-night basis for the Mets or whatever club he's playing for. So very happy, to say the least, that Ronnie got the call-up, a nice little cherry on top, you know, exactly what I was looking for on my birthday. So that's the best gift I could possibly be given. And aside from that, I was also gifted an awesome gift from my parents. For those that don't, and I don't have it beside me right now, otherwise I would show you guys. For those of you that don't know, my favorite New York Met when he was on the Mets was Michael Conforto. Love Michael Conforto, no matter how consistent and inconsistent he would be. Just absolutely love the man, and I've been rooting for him all year in San Francisco. I mean, in my opinion, the prettiest swing in baseball, just a true class act, and I always have great things to say about him. Just loved his game. Really do. And people always say that I look like Michael for whatever reason, which cracks me up because I personally don't see that, yet some people do for whatever reason. My parents were beyond generous enough and gifted me a signed Conforto baseball, which is dope because I don't have any signed baseballs. I don't have, you know, a memorabilia collection or anything like that. I have a couple things, but nothing crazy. It's almost all things that people gift me or send my way, which I'm very grateful for. So the Michael gift was very, very cool. I have his signed jersey as well, so I'll get all that framed up. And we're also, speaking of signatures, we're going to be doing a signed jersey giveaway on the channel very soon. I'm really excited to get into that, so stay tuned because that will be announced probably over the next day or so, over the next week or so, if I had to guess. This campaign will be starting a week or so into September, so be on the lookout. Really, really excited. Got a jersey that I would like to keep for myself, but I'm giving back to the community like I always do. And thank you guys again for the birthday wishes. Love you all to death. As we're breaking down the latest news, that is Ronny Mauricio, Mets coveted top prospect, currently ranked number 3 in the organization per MLB Pipeline, has been called up and will be looking to be officially called up as soon as this Friday. So after the Mets take a nice win, a bounce or a back and forth battle with the Texas Rangers by a final score of 6-5 in extras, thanks to a really solid performance by Denny Reyes coming in as a starter last second, 5.1 innings of 2 earned run ball, if I'm not mistaken. So then having DJ Stewart being on his Barry Bonds shit again with not 1 but 2 home runs, 9 home runs on the season, 8 over his past 13 games. The guy is a walking madman, a true sicko that cannot stop hitting baseballs out of the park. DJ with not only electric offense, electric defense to rob what would have been a double on the right field wall earlier in the game. The Mets escaping a bases loaded jam late in the ball game to ultimately win it thanks to a hit by pitch on DJ Stewart with his 4th RBI. A fun night for my birthday, a fun night in Queens, and a fun night to be a Mets fan, as Ronny Mauricio now is looking set to make his MLB debut this weekend. I will do my best to cover that. I'll be out of town. I will be hitting the beach this weekend. A lot of fun, but I'm going to be trying to cover that to the best of my abilities. But I'm just excited, guys. I've said it plenty, and I'll say it again. This is someone that we have been coveting and talking so highly of all year long. Like, all year long. I mean, since Dominican Winter League. And I told you guys, I told everyone there isn't a chance that Ronnie gets called up early this year. I just didn't see it happening, even after the great spring that he was having. But I did believe that he would get called up at some point this year. I suggested for a while that would be later in the year, and that ultimately ended up being the case, as there's just about 1 month left in the regular season. But now that the Mets are bringing up Ronnie, this will be a sight to see. Again, we're talking about raw power, raw potential, a lot of possibilities that can happen here and transpire with Ronny Mauricio. The kid's just so big. He's locked in. Adding another switch hitter to this lineup, but the power threat. I mean, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that there's potential for Ronny to be a guy that could go back-to-back with Alonso and be beyond effective. You know, I really think that there is that potential with someone like him. I like Mark Vientos a lot. I do not see him as anything more than a DH. However, Ronny has more ability than that. And I truly believe when it comes to bat-to-ball skills, the ability to constantly put the ball in play is what is going to make Ronny thrive in his MLB career. And hopefully we see it as soon as this weekend he showcased those abilities. But even if he doesn't show much at the MLB level for the remainder of the season, it will be nice knowing that he at least got his bearings straight, got his little experience in, and he'll be ready better than ever for the 2024 year. The way that Francisco Alvarez, while dealing with that ankle injury last year, was not performing well in his call-up. Mark Vientos had his struggles. Brett Beatty had his struggles. And these are guys that have, for the most part, Alvarez sticking out far more than the others, have taken that next step in their game, which is always exciting. That's what you love to see. But happy to have you all in here. We have north of 400 live viewers. Continue smashing that like and subscribe on. If you guys are chiming in, watching live on our replay, let me know your initial thoughts and comments below, especially for people on replay. How do you feel about the Mets calling up one of their top, highly anticipated, long-awaited arrival of a prospect and Ronny Mauricio? Ronny, we've talked, it's funny. If you guys are OGs on the channel, then I've talked extensively about Ronny Mauricio and him being traded. Like, really, nothing personal with Ronny, but for a number of years, when I started the channel, heading into the 2021 season, to then 2022, for my first 2 years pretty much on YouTube, anytime we talked about trading prospects, Ronny always stuck out like a sore thumb, because it's like, where are you going to play him? His trade value is diminishing. And then Winter League last year happened, and everything changed. My perspective changed on him. Meeting him in person was really cool too, but just his dominance in spring to carry that over for the entirety of the season. That's the big thing. Ronny balled out in spring training. He balled out in Dominican Winter League. And it's like, okay, he's balling out in these things. Is he going to ball out at the AAA level all year? And he's done exactly that. So, yes, long overdue, to say the least. And Dave, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for chiming in. Appreciate everyone chiming in, guys. And prospect, as a matter of fact. Wardy, does DJ Stewart have a place on this team next year? Probably not. We'll see. Probably not. DJ Stewart's a great little story right now, but very much feels like a Matt Carpenter 2022 Yankees situation. I think the Mets just struck lightning in a bottle. But hey, if DJ returns and he is effective for the Mets next year, and maybe could be a really nice bat as a DH option, then hey, I'm not against it. Look, if you're productive and you will perform well above expectations but consistently do it, yeah, I want you on my team, right? I don't think that's a crazy thing to say, but I think we should just enjoy this run for what it is. I don't expect it to last too much longer. But Mets fans, we are going to be wrapping things up in the next couple minutes or so, because I got myself a long day tomorrow, and I'm just really, more than anything, I'm just excited to start talking about Mets games again. But Ronny Mauricio being in the lab, sharing my initial analysis and breaking down his highlights and his game. So before I get out of here, the last thing I will leave you with is I just want to further thank you for all the support, not only this year and what has been a really tough time covering this ball club because of how incompetent that they have been, aside from a really exciting back and forth ping pong type win in extras tonight over the Texas Rangers. I just again want to thank you guys for all the support that you've given me this year, last year, the year before that. We've been on YouTube for around 3 years now, and I'm beyond humbled and grateful to be in the position that I am to do this for a living. And even when things aren't going well in Mets land, it's just so reassuring that I have this amazing following. You guys are just the ultimate fan base in Mets fandom, and I love interacting with you all. It means so much to me, and just know that I'm beyond humbled and grateful, and I cannot wait to share with you all everything that's coming up this offseason, because we have a lot of awesome stuff coming that I think you guys are going to thoroughly enjoy. That is Mets-centric, and it is even more than just Mets. So exciting stuff in Mets land and in Wardy's land, and that is what I will leave you with. And Felix, you're too kind. Shout out to my friends at SNY, though. Always a pleasure doing work with them. Dave for the $5 hollow. Why is Carrasco back to the Mets bullpen? Hoping we won't see him again, because I didn't emphasize this enough in my video yesterday, and I apologize, everybody. That was a mistake on my end. Carrasco, if he's not picked up off waivers, which why would he be, right? Let's be real. He will stay on the roster. So then the Mets will have the option if they actually want to keep him on the active team or if they want to send him and outright him to AAA Syracuse. That's what we're waiting on. But Carrasco could essentially still stay with the team. It's different than a typical waiver wire given the time of year. So we'll see what happens on the cookie front. But that is where I will leave you guys. The Pete Alonso stuff that's been going on, I haven't really touched on because it's a steaming pile of dog shit, is what it is, from nonsensical reporting from people who aren't reporters that have no clue what they're talking about. And they have been corrected. I mean, the fact that Alonso even had to answer some of the questions that he was asked, and Thozar did a fantastic job interviewing him. Please make sure to check out her article on what the facts are, not fiction, which is this nonsense in a lot of radio nowadays, unfortunately, just for clicks. But I'm not going to address anything more than that. It's quite BS if you're asking me, and Pete Alonso deserves to be a Met for the rest of his career. So hopefully him and the Mets front office and brass, Steve Cohen and top down, can get that figured out this offseason. But that'll be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. For people on replay, Ronny Mauricio is officially called up by the New York Metropolitans, looking to make his long-awaited, highly anticipated debut as soon as this weekend. That'll do it for me. So I will see you guys in the coming days or so. But until then, have a great rest of your night, day, evening, whenever you're watching this. And this is your boy signing out.